Welcome. This is Dr. David D. Shine, producer and host of Saving America. And in the news today on Saving America, we're going to be looking at some court activity that we've had over the last few weeks. And it's had some important implications for democracy in America. The first one is the developers of the Keystone Pipeline have sued the American government for $15 billion that they lost as a result of this whammy-tammy silliness of the Biden administration to cut off something that has turned America from energy independent to energy dependent. And of course, gasoline prices have shot up $1 a gallon. Thank you, Biden, for your wonderful leadership in that regard. Another case that's very interesting is the Ohio Federal District Court just issued a permanent injunction, that's pretty serious, to block the ambiguous tax mandate in Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID-19 pork barrel bill. And the provision, as I understand it, said that the localities could not reduce taxes with any of the federal money that they received. And the court said that you can't really reach into state government, but they called it an ambiguous provision, which is why it was unconstitutional. I think it was unconstitutional because the feds have no business interfering in state tax rules. And then our third case recently filed is former President Donald Trump has filed an action against the three well-known heads of Twitter, Facebook, and Google and their respective companies to say that these guys have two different issues. Basically, it's an attack on a piece called Section 230. Section 230 basically was a get out of jail free card for the different web services. And the idea being that Google and Facebook and all that are just carriers. They are not editors or publishers. Now, clearly they have stepped way, way over that line with ridiculous censorship of whatever's related to the flavor of the day, the whack woke operations out there. And so it's clearly changed the perspective, and they look a lot more like a magazine or newspaper coverage than they do a carrier, a simple carrier. So in any event, the part one of the Trump lawsuit is to change their exemption under Part 230. The second part is even more interesting, and that is that these companies, Twitter, Facebook, Google, are conspiring with Democrats in different levels, the statehood, the federal operations, and so forth, to do things that serve Democrat interests. And in that, because these people are in office, that indicates that they are serving a government interest. Well, guess what, folks? When that happens, when these major operations conspire with the government to restrict our freedoms as Americans under the Bill of Rights, they become agents of the government, and that implicates constitutional protections. So it's an interesting lawsuit. Some pundits have already said it has no chance of success. I happen to be, I've only been an attorney for over 40 years, but my observation is that I think this case has got a lot of legs. There's a pretty strong feeling that it will definitely get to the Supreme Court. So as we can say on a lot of other things, hey, let's sit back, wait, and see what happens. This has been In the News under Saving America.